Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech. And if you're new to the channel, my Whatsminer M30S took a dump, and I had to replace it with a Bitmain S19k Pro. So now I have two of them, a 110 terahash version and a 120 terahash version. And if you left them stock, that's exactly what you would get, those hash rates respectively. Obviously, you can install customized firmware or third-party firmware like from LuxOS, Brain, so on and so forth, but you're going to pay a 2% or 1.5% dev fee depending on which one. Instead, I opted to go with the Epic control board on both of them, and I just want to take you through that comparison. What are we actually getting, hash rate, power draw, all that stuff, between the 110 and the 120 terahash? First, I would like to send a huge thanks to Alter Tech, who helped us acquire both of these Bitmain S19k Pros. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. So go check them out. I'll have a link down in the description. It is a referral link, does provide a kickback. But if you're looking for components or replacement parts or just outright ASICs on a particular one, check them out. The S19k Pro right now at time of filming, that's the price range that you're looking at. Basically, either 1700 or 1750. It looks like they're out of the 120 because whenever I click it, it doesn't have an add to cart. So they only have the 115 or the 110 terahash. And really, these are within variants of each other. There is some minute, performance and efficiency or power draw differences, which we'll go over here in just a moment. But, they're relatively the same. Now, if you would leave the stock control board on there, then you're going to get the hash rate that is being notated on the packaging. But if you were to install this Epic control board, the Epic blockchain team has been killing it. There's been updates. I think one was just 2 weeks ago, but it's just consistent updates, improving stability, adding more support for new miners like the T21 or the S21, whatever it might be. So yeah, it is 160 bucks, but I think it's worth it, right? Rather than having to pay a dev fee for the life of the device, you now don't have any dev fee, but you're paying 160 for the life of the device. Now, this probably wouldn't be recommended for large-scale operations, mid-scale operations, to put an Epic control board on every single ASIC when they're dealing with thousands of these things. It'd probably be better to just leave the stock control board, maybe remote manage them, through LuxOS or Brains OS or whatever it is, the utility that they have that they can install their firmware on each of these devices. Epic has the same thing, right? There's an Epic blockchain dashboard, but that's just to update the firmware and manage your Epic control boards or miners that have these boards in them remotely or from a main source. So I would just, check out my previous videos where I talked about the Epic control board. But I think it's a good opportunity to get it. Right now in the 120 terahash version, we're over my efficiency mark, right? I'm drawing a lot of more juice than I would like, but sitting around 23 joules per terahash, so that's above where I would like. It dropped down to the 22.9 just now. Usually I see it around 22.4, but it is drawing a little bit more than I would like. But I'm trying to stack as much SAS as possible before the halving, and then after the halving, I'm probably gonna let it ride for a little bit, see how the profits are, and go from there. So we're getting around 164.8, 164.7 terahash right now, but sitting around 3,700 watts, 3,770, almost 3,800 watts. However, the 110 terahash is doing a little bit more and power draw, right? So it's 100 to almost 120 watts more power draw to get close to the same hash rate. So while we can go to Alter Tech or whatever your manufacturer or vendor that you like, and we can go grab the 110, we can get it with an Epic blockchain or Epic UMC control board. We can get it close to where its older brother or sibling, the 120 terahash, sits, but at the cost of paying more because of the electricity usage that we pull from. But it's not as bad as one would think. Now, I am not sure if you will be able to hit this with LuxOS or Brains OS. I haven't really tried that, and I'm not going to take it out of the immersion liquid to install the stock control board. But I did play around with it in the past, and at the time, LuxOS didn't have the auto-tuning feature enabled. Brains did, and it was able to do pretty well, but we were sitting more around 140 terahash. I haven't pushed it to these lengths. However, looking at what we have in front of us, two Bitmain S19k Pros, 120 terahash versus 110 terahash. Obviously, the silicon is a little bit different, so it's going to require more power for the 110 to hit the 120. It's not as bad as I was expecting, and we're still able to hit the 164, almost 165 terahash on both of these units. just at a little worse efficiency. If I move out of your way here, we're sitting at 24.1 joules per terahash on the 110, whereas on the 120 we're sitting at 22.9 joules per terahash when they're both set at the same parameter. So with that data, hopefully that helps you make a decision. You know, should you get the 110 or do you really need to spend more to get the 120? It really depends on the actual control board you're going to be using, whether you're going to be using the stock one with third-party firmware or if you're going to be using the EPIC blockchain control board. And I would say the EPIC blockchain control board. Right now, if we look at the profitability per these machines, top one is the 120, bottom one is the 110, and you know that is the difference. Now that number fluctuates quite often, and let's go ahead and try to look that up real quick, see what that is in USD. So BTC to USD. So BTC to USD, that's about $16.45 a day every 24 hours, whereas the 110 is sitting about right there, which is about $13.65 per day, not including electricity costs, right? Like obviously the electricity cost is what's going to get you. But if we look at this dashboard and compare it against the picture I just got here, yeah, so around 0.00027 for the 120, and then for the 110 we're sitting around 0.000, I would say 2.5, not 2.9 like it has here in the picture, because you can see it drop down to 2.24. So I would say around 2.4 or 2.5, somewhere in there. So not too bad, right? Not too terrible. I would say $14, which again, the USD value doesn't really matter. It's all about the amount in Bitcoin or the sats that you're actually obtaining every 24 hours. But I just wanted to give you that comparison for some of my viewers that care about that information. So yeah, the 110 terahash can hang with the 120 terahash with it as long as you apply an EPIC UMC control board. But I'm sure some third-party software will allow you to extend the limits of the 110 to get closer to its sibling if you wanted to, but then you're going to start hitting diminishing returns. So it's all about making it as efficient as possible. Because remember, the lesser versions or the when you have an ASIC that has, you know, different variants in hash rate, the higher hash rate models are just going to have the better silicon, whereas the lesser hash rate models are just going to have the lesser silicon, or it requires more power for that silicon to hit the same threshold or hash rates or limits in which you're intending to hit. But I just wanted to share this all with you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Are you running an EPIC UMC control board? Or are you running third-party firmware? Which firmware do you like? Brains, Luxor, Vanish? I believe BitBix has one as well. Just let me know what you're running down in the comments below. And do me a favor on the way out. Hit the like button. Make sure to get subscribed. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out additional links in the description that support the channel and what we do here, like to Alter Tech, where we got these units. And you just have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. I'll catch you next one.